So I'm Nikko, and I come from Hesperia, California. I've been tattooing for about 17, 18 years. I don't really see myself as like a pioneer. I've always taken pride in being hardworking. I think that I was like a baby of a certain time. I think there was people like Guy Atchison, doing like these crazy three-dimensional tattoos, full sleeves. And then I was like fan of like the whole new school tattoo thing. And then growing up in Southern California with the fine line black and gray portraits, I think that naturally I just gravitated to portraiture because I like drawing realistic. And but I would also do like, new school style tattoos. So I kind of not intentionally combined those, but when somebody asked me, hey, could you do this color portrait? I took a chance and did it. I was doing some pinups and things like that, and that's kind of what was popular. I'd done some Basil Gogos paintings, and yeah, it just came out natural like that. It's weird because there's people like Dino Cook and Boris and, people that did this stuff before me, so I can't really see myself in that light, I just continue to move forward and keep building myself. I mean, because it's not just for me, it's the people that work with me, it's my shops, it's my family, my kids. I have to be relevant and work hard to stay in those positions in order to keep my family with the life that they have. So it's a lot more than just me, I have like a lot of driving force behind me. My kids don't think I'm cool. I mean, my son does, he's like 8, and he misses me right now. I'm down here and I've been kind of gone a lot. There's been a lot of guest artists. He's cool. I'm cool for now, but my daughter's 12 and she's in junior high, and I say such dad things, like I'm like, I don't know, she'll do like those Fortnite dances, and so I'll be in my house and I'll be doing the Fortnite dances, and she's just like, oh, cringe, dad, because I like to mess with her, and I'm not the cool dad, you know what I mean? It's funny though now that she's in junior high, like, she's like, hey, my friend follows you, and I'm like, am I cool yet? And she just like rolls her eyes, and it's just like shaming me. I think that I shower my kids with love, for one. I think that's what's different about their life than mine. I think I to a certain point, until I was a teenager, I think that things kind of changed. I was kind of a hard teenager to deal with, and my parents got divorced, so that was a hard thing to deal with too when you're in like your teenage years, and having, I was angry and just all these things. So I really have changed my lifestyle in order to be the person that I need to be for them. And so I hope that I can provide that. That's my goal. And I didn't have like one drink this weekend at Golden State, and I'm proud of that because I feel like I need to do that for them. I don't need to be running around being all wasted, and I don't need to be acting like a fool, and that's all good, man. Like, I don't judge anybody. Like, shit, I had so much fun doing that. Like, it was amazing, but I just know I gotta be better for them. I gotta be like a person they can look up to. Like, I wanna be their hero. I made a conscious decision to change the way I'm viewed by people and the way I am with like the community. Like, I do want to be that example. I do want to hold myself to a higher standard. And so I make a promise to myself that you won't see me getting wasted at a convention. You won't see me partying all night. You'll see me go to bed. You'll see me wake up early. I want to be the example to help tattooing carry itself to a different place. I think that my greatest motivation has always been people telling me I couldn't do it. Like somebody saying, don't compare yourself to that person, or you can never be that, or you can never do that, or that's just not for you. That's been like my biggest motivation, to be honest, man, because, if somebody told me like, hey, you could never be like The Rock, dude, like that would light a fire inside of my soul. That would just be like that rebellious spirit of like, fuck that, dude, I'm gonna figure this out. Even if I die trying, like, I'm gonna fucking push, and I think that like, I explained to somebody the other day that, I'm all good, man. I'm like this little bush on fire inside of me, and I feel like when you tell me I can't, or you think that I'm weak, or you think that I'm below you, or you tell me something negative or that I don't have it, you just poured gasoline on me. And I'm like so grateful for that gasoline, and that's why I love to feel like I'll always feel like the underdog. What's funny is I meet a lot of people that they always like, they try to give you suggestions, right? Like even with the seminars. And I think they always think they're gonna offend me, like I'm gonna take it to heart. But actually I'm like, man, you're giving me like nuggets of gold, because whatever information you're giving me, like it's gonna help me to grow, and I don't take it to heart. Like I actually take it as you care. I mean, hardcore tattoo fundamentals is kind of like where I'm at. You know, I really respect the traditions of tattooing. And so I do think that, you know, the traditional tattooers and you know, outlines, they got it right. You know, I give them the credit for that, because, you know, they just don't explain it in the right way, in my opinion. I think it's explained better with value. You know, it's the blacks and the darks that stay over time. So I think that having a good balance of darks, and whether you want to leave open skin or do light colors, you need that balance for a longevity in the tattoo. But it's taken a long time. You know, when I started doing the realism stuff, a lot of people weren't using that black inside their tattoos or around it. And I just try to take what I learned from painting, what I learned from looking at Japanese work, and combine them in tattooing. I think that I'm always reassessing what I'm doing. Just like today, you know, like I get to sit in a room with Joe Capobianco, and you know, he has so much time in tattooing, you know, and I think that that is huge. So I pick his brain and I get to learn. So I always like to learn, you know. I don't care who the person is. Maybe it's somebody that doesn't have a name, but you can always take something from somebody. And so I'm always really open-minded, and I think that that's been the biggest contributor to my life. The number one advice to give to aspiring tattooer, I think, is, I mean, just have an open mind. You know, never feel like you're the best, because that's just not reality. If you're killing it, there's another level. The more open-minded and open-hearted you are, I think the further you'll go in life. I think that what I've noticed in life is the people at the very bottom, where they're kind of starting, are super humble and hungry. And the people in the middle, sometimes they're like almost there to being like that great, you know, aspired person where people are praising them, but they have like a little chip on their shoulder because they're not quite there, you know? And I think that if you kind of take that away and not feel like you're owed anything or you're due to anything, I mean, you're gonna get it all. Everything's a plus. Usually people approach me, I mean, I've had a lot of people, it's weird because people don't even DM me on Instagram or nothing like that. I think most people, it's word of mouth. That's one thing that I'm gonna tell people, and this is good advice for the young tattooers. I don't care about any social media, as far as like, I'm grateful for what I have in social media and what I've been able to build. And you know, social media is always changing. The greatest thing you can ever do for yourself is word of mouth. You know, you do a great tattoo on somebody, or your very best, and then that person tells somebody. The reason I tattooed someone like The Rock is because his security, Matt, which is a nice guy, great guy, he recommended The Rock to him. And that's why I tattooed him, you know, and usually it's by recommendation. I know a lot of people within Hollywood, and I've met a lot of people over the years, and I've been tattooing for almost 2 decades, and I think that that's where it's going. I think a lot of people think it's a social media presence, but really, man, it's the word of mouth. And so, you know, I hold myself in a respectful manner when I go to these people's houses or when I'm in their presence, and when I go there, I'm ready to work. You know, and I don't party with them, even if they are, you know, enjoying their life. You know, I don't step out of my lane. I'm not trying to be their best friend. You know, I enjoy their company. I watch them. I've learned from them, but I respect them, you know, as I should and as they deserve. Tattooing is an odd thing for me because it's really a collaborative thing between you and the client. You know, I've been in many places in my life where I've been super ungrateful, and I've been like, why aren't they getting what I want to do? But it is a collaborative process, and they do pay for your service. And that's what people don't understand. Like, when you say someone's paying for your service, that means you're a servant. And so you're providing a service to these people. And I really think that that's our job, is to do the best service we can give them and give them the best experience, you know? On the other end, I do think if you're searching out an artist and you really like their work and you want what they're gonna get, then, you know, you need to trust them. So tattoo etiquette to me is trust on both parties, not to overstep boundaries, and just have respect for one another. You know, I think that's, and trust, man, like artists need to have, I mean, the collectors or whoever's getting tattooed needs to trust the artist that they're gonna give them the best that they can. I mean, somebody getting their first tattoo, do your research, you know? And when you're going through an Instagram, look for heel tattoos, okay? Like, don't just trust that those tattoos look like that. Like, look through their Instagram, look for the heel tattoos, look for the honesty, and then go to that little thing in the corner that shows pictures that people post of them, and go through that and look for those same tattoos living in the wild. You know what I mean? Like, really do your research in that way. Like, you can trust tattoos, but don't, you know, with tattooing right now, it's good to do that kind of research and recon. And yeah, man, I mean, I think that, you know, go in and vibe with that artist. Like, write them online and see what kind of person they are. Like, it's a sharing of energy. So, like, it's an intimate thing. So if you're gonna sit there and get tattooed by somebody, make sure it's somebody you wanna sit with. Like, there's so many great artists now that you don't wanna get tattooed by an asshole. You know, you wanna get tattooed by somebody cool and that you might be like-minded with. And so to tattooers, put a little bit more personality out there. Your Instagram or Facebook isn't just a portfolio. That's what you have a portfolio for. Show people who you are. You know, show people what you like. If you like to play basketball, show them that. If you like to, you know, eat cheeseburgers, show them that. Like, there's somebody out there that likes to eat cheeseburgers just as much as you that you should get tattooed by. And you can talk about where the world's best cheeseburger is. Who inspires me? Oh, I mean, number one would be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's only because he did things that he became governor, man. Like, he was a bodybuilder, and then he married a Kennedy, and that shit's crazy to me. You know, I listen to Gary Vee. You know, he's amazing. I just read a book, you know, David Goggins, You Can't Hurt Me. It's incredible. I mean, if you're looking for, as far as like words and stuff like that, I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. But there's so much stuff, man. Like, just paintings and art and just people. And I mean, The Rock, man. I mean, how can The Rock not inspire you? That dude's a go-getter. He's a bad motherfucker, man. And he's a good dude. Like, that's like really what made me like step back and be like, wow, man, like, I could be such a better person, and I can be such a better leader and a better like representation of tattooing. Like, I need to be this way, you know. And I think it's infectious. You know, if you're around people like this, it's gonna infect you. And I think that these people infect me in some way, you know. And that's why I'm so ambitious, because I've seen these people do things and control things, and like, you know, like Diddy, you know, I've watched him be a great father as well as do his business at the same time, you know. And that's like a powerful thing. Like, that's a hard thing to juggle, and I always wondered those questions, and I really respect him in that aspect where I've watched him be a really good dad, and I think it's cool. And that's just from a fly on the wall. The future of tattooing, I mean, it's just gonna be more abundance like anything else. Like, I think that there's gonna be more social media, there's gonna be more video. I think video is the future of everything. I think that what's coming is so many tattooers that are amazing, it's gonna be hard to really separate the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? And I think that with the polarizer filters and Photoshop and everything, nobody knows what really to trust in tattooing. You know, I think that that really comes down to the honor as a person, you know, and what you're trying to provide to your clients. You know, I think that, you know, social media is in a weird place. You know, technology is an odd thing. So I couldn't really tell the future, but I do think that it's just gonna get harder and harder to make a living being a mediocre or less than mediocre artist or tattooer. If you don't love it and you're not truly passionate and you're in it for the wrong reasons and you treat people like shit, most likely you're gonna get pushed out. It's funny, man, because you say that and there's a story that Rock told me, but I can't tell you.